Hello, AP Biology students. We're going to go over the 14th section in Unit 3. And in this section, we're going to transition our content into cellular respiration. Remember, we just got done learning about photosynthesis and how it takes in light energy and produces oxygen and glucose. What we're going to see in cellular respiration is the usage of the energy that we're getting from the glucose molecule in order for our cells to have energy to do work. And within this process, we are going to produce CO2 and water. As you can see in the diagram above, there is a cycling of these molecules, that being oxygen and glucose and water and CO2. The inputs of one reaction are the outputs of the other. Now, the whole process behind breaking down food molecules, specifically sugars, is called cellular respiration. And the end goal here is to create ATP, or energy for the cell. Remember from the previous sections that ATP is a high energy molecule that's going to power our cellular processes. I absolutely love this diagram that shows what this looks like. Again, food has energy and it's going to turn here. It's going to provide the energy for ATP to be produced. Now, this ATP is going to go and fuel our cellular processes, that being, whatever the cell needs itself to do. But we get that energy to form ATP from the food that we eat. So there is a lot of energy transfer within these processes, and these gears kind of show what that transfer of energy looks like. Now, like I said before, the photosynthetic outputs of sugar and oxygen are going to be the inputs of cellular respiration, while the outputs here are going to be the inputs of photosynthesis. One molecule that we should know about before getting into the details of cellular respiration are NADH and FADH2. These are very similar molecules to the NADPH that we saw in photosynthesis. So much so that NADH is just NADPH without a phosphate group. But basically, these are reusable electron carriers that are going to just carry or transfer energy during this process. Let's just take a little bit of a deeper look into mitochondria. Mitochondria, there are multiple per cell and they have a double membrane. The fluid inside the mitochondria, specifically this second membrane here, is going to be known as the matrix. The folds here on the inner membrane, these are going to be known as cristae, and they increase the surface area of that inner membrane. That's going to be really important when we learn later about the electron transport chain. And the space between the two membranes is known as the intermembrane space. Again, we should know about the different locations within the mitochondria because we're going to be talking a lot about them in the next couple sections. Lastly, we're going to focus on the difference between aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic just requires oxygen, while anaerobic doesn't require oxygen. Anaerobic in this case can still occur whenever the body has oxygen, it just doesn't need oxygen. We're going to be next focusing on the four main steps of cellular respiration, and those are glycolysis, the prep step, Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. Glycolysis is the only one of these which is anaerobic, which means, again, it doesn't require oxygen. The other three steps require oxygen, but in different ways. We'll be talking about why they require oxygen later on. I saw this meme and I thought this was a great meme to show the difference between like a biology level understanding of what mitochondria do at an AP level. Basically, everyone knows is the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and that's what it does. Yes, it's a power plant for the cell. However, more specifically, it's the site of aerobic respiration within cellular respiration. That's the more AP level understanding of what mitochondria does.